So it's like I don't have any of the menopause symptoms right now, but I'm due for a hysterectomy next month or maybe in June sometime. So I just hoping things fall into place, and then I just don't want to be going through any of the other symptoms after that. But as of now, I mean, I don't face any of the menopause symptoms or anything like that. But once after the surgery, I hope everything is okay after that. Not sure.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I hadn't planned to share this, but after hearing you, I'd just like to share that last week I met one of my aunts, and when we were in school, which is God knows how many decades back, 3-4 decades back, she had her hysterectomy. And so I just met her. She's close to 100-year-old, and she was slim and trim, and she recognized us, and she was walking, of course, with a little bit of walker, but she was not really dependent on the walker. And that encouraged me a lot because she's very disciplined about her exercise and her diet, and she's a good inspiration. So that's what I wanted to share with you, that just have no fear. Go ahead with your medical treatment and look after yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, do what suits you most, and you'll be fine.
All right, thank you. This is actually a lot of motivation, I mean, yeah, but then I think for everyone it's separate. I'm also just keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yes,
You'll be fine, Tangan. Absolutely fit and fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ravneet. I am 50 years old, going to be 51. Recently, I learned that I'm in a perimenopause age, in the sense that up joining Bloom, a lot of awareness came into when I consulted a gynec. She gave me a supplements, which was a game changer for me. Really grateful to Malvika that she roped in such a big community and the awareness that is coming in. And now the nutrition part, I'm really looking forward to the of late that I have to really take care of my health. So this is a very, very welcome session, much awaited by me. Thank you so much.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. I look forward to sharing whatever my 2 bits. Yeah.
So for all the new people who've just joined, and thank you so much for joining. We were just waiting for if in case anybody else wants to join. So we were giving it like a 5-10 minute wait. So in that time, we were just sharing about ourselves with Professor Priti. If anybody wants to share anything about themselves, where they're in the journey, at 4:10 we will start.
Okay.
Yeah. So anybody else, go ahead and share about yourself, where you are in the journey, what you're looking forward to in the session, anything specific you have in mind.
Okay, then I'll take the time here. Hi, doctor. I am Sonia. Sorry, not on camera. Let me just try. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I am 50. I have been in menopause, I think, for about over a year now. And this session will be really something that I look forward to, because I believe in meeting my nutritional needs, or the nutrient needs, through diet and not through supplements. So I'd really like to hear your take on this, whether our diet is something that can suffice, or whether we would need some supplements, whether it's recommended in general. Of course, it's specific to each individual, but that's what's brought me to this session today.
Okay, that's nice. I would be talking mostly about the natural dietary inputs. Supplement is not a topic that I have taken up today. It's just about food and how food can influence, and the dietary inputs that you can change to get your desired results. So my take on supplements is that as a routine, you do not need to take supplements. But if there is a clinical condition, you need to screen yourself very regularly. And if there is a clinical condition and it does require correction with certain supplements, then your gynecologist or your physician or any other specialist whom you're visiting for a specific problem will recommend supplementation to you. And you should follow it up very judiciously and keep monitoring, and do not keep taking them once your clinical condition has improved. Go back to the doctor and be very careful about how much to take and the timing and when to stop. Because lack of a nutrient is harmful, but a toxic dose is even more harmful.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we can start. I think Bhavna was trying to join, but I think they'll join.
Maybe she's not able to join. I think she is in a meeting or something.
Okay,
So.
no worries. No worries. Is Konika going to join Yoshita include?
I don't know. I can check.
We can start, and if it's not too much of a problem, and we can always share a few more thoughts if they join in later.
Yeah, no, I just wanted that everybody should be there. Those I knew who had signed up to come for the session. And they can, because it's such an important topic that we are talking about: nutrition, hormonal balance, and menopause. So I think all three are so critical right now. So just trying to. Okay, I think let's start. We'll have the session for an hour, and so Dr. Priti will talk about this topic, and then free for anybody to share their experiences, ask any questions. Now, I'm going to just take a quick 30 seconds and introduce Dr. Priti, right? So Doctor is actually Professor Priti, and she is faculty with Lady Irwin College. Plus, she has 30 years of work experience. She is UG, PG in food and nutrition, and was also working as a scientific officer with the Sports Authority of India. She is a PhD on sports nutrition and has worked with many organizations in government and education. She's also believes in a holistic treatment, and hence Ayurveda and the traditional method of Ayurveda combined with the scientific modern nutrition way of looking at things. So that's welcome, Professor Priti, and thank you so much for being here today. Over to you, and I think we can start the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Malvika. I've recently joined your community of Bloom, and it is so inspiring to see such interested community members. They're all so aware and they're so particular about their health, and they pose so many questions. And keeping all of them in mind, I've been reading through in the past 10 days, and I've tried to collect all information that would answer some of their questions during the course of my presentation, and the others we can take on a one-on-one basis after the presentation. So the main focus, as Malvika said, and Malvika, at the outset itself, I'd like to compliment you by saying that you are such a dynamic force who inspires everyone to speak their mind and to participate, and you keep giving so much information. I do hope that my 2 bits will add value to what you have been doing in your community. Having
so
said
much for
that,
your kind
yeah.
words. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Having said that, the focus would be basically on nutrition for menopause, with an aim to present some evidence or evidence-based guidance on how we can keep a balance in the hormones that are influenced because of menopause. So the contents, now there we go. It's not moving again. Now what? I think after a lapse of a few minutes, it stops.
I think you just have to tap on the screen to activate it, and then you'll be able to progress. If you try that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So briefly, the contents, we'll talk about hormonal changes during this period, some symptoms, and then how nutrition can help. When we talk about nutrition, we talk about macronutrients, micronutrients, and I will also touch upon intermittent fasting and hydration. You've been interested in that, I've seen over the past 10 days, and hopefully we'll take home a few messages. So what hormonal changes happen during menopause? It's very simple. It's no rocket science. The normal productive life cycle wherein our reproductive system keeps on preparing to reproduce is sometime at menarche. These days it's starting even at 10, 9, 11. But usually sometime between 11 to about 13, 15, there is menarche, and thereon till about 35, 45 is the usual reproductive lifetime. Of course, people are reproducing today at 60 with the help of medical science, but we are talking about natural childbirth. Now, sometime after that, the perimenopause sets in, and then the menopause. And a permanent cessation of period for a period of 1 full year is actually the definition that we take for menopause. So what happens in menopause? The estrogen and the progesterone, both are, they stop getting produced. I think, this is the slide we should see first. So the estrogen and progesterone, as you can see, they peak sometime at puberty, estradiol, and then it goes, it spikes 2-3 times, and then there is a plateau in the premenopause phase. And then again in the perimenopause and postmenopause phase, the hypothalamus, because the natural feedback is going down, the hypothalamus gives various types of feedbacks, and there are spikes and dips in this hormone. And this is why we tend to have all the concerns that we have during the menopause. Progesterone, of course, usually takes a smoother pathway, and then it plateaus, goes down, and it kind of dips down, and that as a plateau. But this is the estradiol is the one that creates a little bit of spice in life by going up and down. And this is what creates hot flashes and night sweats. And when it goes up, suddenly there is an upswing of moods. And then when it dips, there are several negative effects. And this is what we call as the various symptoms of menopause. All of them you know about, you have been talking about them, all the entire physiological systems. There are about 12 physiological systems in the body, and all of them are liable to get affected. You are liable to get affected physically, mentally, emotionally, and because of all these, even socially. And if you allow it, it can either become an issue in your life, or you could just take it one step at a time, and we'll see how we'll do that. And we can handle it. As I was sharing with Malvika, usually people in the corporate and the working women and educated women, they have time on hand and they have the awareness and they have the sensitivity to notice all these symptoms, and so they can do something about it. And however, another person who probably is a stone cutter may not even notice these symptoms, and so she continues to live her life in a normal manner. So this is both positive and negative. Firstly, you notice all these symptoms, that's very positive, and how you deal with it can be either positive or negative. So here you could have various symptoms of mentally or emotionally, and you could have changes in so you could have brain fogs or fatigue or various symptoms, and these are the ones that really worry you. Now, why do these happen? These happen basically because of the influence of estrogen. Now, estrogen is, there are 3 types of estrogen produced in the body. And the most important one is estradiol that I was talking about. And so there is estradiol, which is of 2 types, and that is produced only during pregnancy. One of it is produced by the mother, the placenta of the mother, and the other one by the fetus. But estradiol is produced throughout the reproductive years. And during menopause, this is reduced, and this is the one that causes the maximum concern. Then there is also estrone. Estrone is a weaker form of estrogen, but it remains, ovaries keep on producing it even after menopause. You said that you were going to have a hysterectomy. Usually they take the ovaries out also during hysterectomy. So estrone would then also be affected because production happens in the ovaries. But if they leave the ovaries and take away only the uterus, then this will continue to be produced. So, but this is a very weak hormone. Now, the good news is that although it is produced in the body, similar chemicals are available in various plant sources. And as you all already know, probably, soybean is one of the richest source of phytoestrogen, and there are some other foods also. So when the estrogen acts on various physiological systems, it acts as a chemical. And this chemical is sometimes just a part of the estrogen that is produced by the reproductive system. And body cannot make the difference between this part of the chemical, even if it comes from a plant source. So that is the good news, that certain chemical reactions that happen in the brain, in the liver, in the bones, heart, breasts, ovaries, uterus, everywhere, skin, can continue to happen even if you are getting phytoestrogens from plant sources, and body reacts very well to these phytoestrogens from plant sources. So the key point to remember here is that estrogen acts on various systems of the body. And when estrogen starts to diminish, all of these, the functions start to get affected. But by trying to provide these systems with phytoestrogens and all the macro and micronutrients to keep their function to the maximum, we would then ameliorate the effect of the negative effects of the lack of the hormone estradiol. So how can nutrition help? Diet and nutrition can help firstly in creating a hormonal balance and all the other symptoms that are brought on by menopause, such as weight management, especially the visceral fat. Now, you'd notice that most of the women have a flat tummy even after childbirth. But after menopause, there is a huge amount of tummy that comes on. So this happens because the protective effect of estrogen is gone. Estrogen um, uh, uh, actually is made from cholesterol. Okay, so cholesterol molecule in the body is metabolized to make estrogen. So now that the estrogen is not being made, the one use of cholesterol is lowered, and therefore there is fatty deposits, or the amount of cholesterol in circulation and the raw material and the other products of cholesterol, they are much higher in quantum. So this is why it takes its toll on various other systems. This is how it hampers the normal metabolism, and it creates an imbalance in various other metabolisms, particularly the cardiovascular system, the skeletal system, and also the skin, the excretory system, especially the urinary tract and the ureter, and of course the reproductive system. This entire gamut can be helped with diet. The gut can be helped, gut health, microbiota, that can be helped with diet. And of course, all these functions, as I said, and also cognition. Now, nutrition is one factor that has an influence on the cognition, which is the mental status, on the emotions, and also on the physical status. So if you eat properly, all these areas are also assisted towards their best performance or best function throughout life. And so, as I said, these are the 4 areas that I would be talking about. So what foods can balance hormones during menopause? So there are several foods. To start with, the most obvious is phytoestrogen. So there are foods that are naturally rich in phytoestrogens, which is soya bean. However, everybody who is planning to have more soya bean, now research in our college also and several other colleagues, and I've seen many evidences, it says that about 30 grams to about 100 grams per day of Nutrella has a significant effect on moods. It has a significant effect on bones, and also anxiety, and even skin. And so all of these are affected, 30 grams to about 100 grams. However, it is a phytoestrogen, and there is a certain type of breast cancer that is caused because of a high estrogen level. So people who have a late menopause, or those who have a family history of breast cancer, are advised not to have too much of soybean, because soybean can also then cause a breast cancer. The others who do not have a family history and who have an early menopause can benefit from soybean. And then also fiber, broccoli and berries. Berries are very good because they're very good at antioxidants. Eggs, albumin specifically, it is very good, the white part of eggs. So maybe you could have a maximum of 3 to 4 yolks in a week, but you could have 2 egg whites every day. So those can help. And it is good quality protein also, and that helps to preserve the LBM. It also helps make bone health. It is also a good source of calcium. Brassica family, such as broccoli, these are anti-cancerous also. So they give you phytochemicals to fight cancer, and several other. So interleukins such as 1, 2, TNF alpha, all these are chemicals that are produced in the body, and they attack various systems. And good nutrients, they produce antioxidants and fighting chemicals, phytochemicals in place that can then quench all these damaging chemicals and free radicals. Papaya, it has vitamin A and and it is a low calorie fruit. This also fish has it is a good source of omega-3 acids. Another very good source of omega-3, a plant-based omega-3, is flaxseed. And in our studies, we have found very good results. We just crush the flaxseed as such, do not roast it. If you roast it, the omega-3 goes down. The amount of omega-3 is lost if you roast it. But if you just crush them and you add them to a little bit of yogurt, Greek yogurt works best because it is a good bacteria also, very friendly. And you cannot taste it, and it has shown it has given very positive results. And also walnuts. So early in the morning, India had a tradition of having a handful or half a fistful of nuts, soaked nuts. And so almonds and walnuts, these were the ones that used to be had. Almonds are very good source of fatty acids, good fatty acids. And walnuts are good sources of omega-3. Those are also very good. Mushrooms, and also several other fruits and vegetables, all fruits and vegetables. The Indian Council of Medical Research says that half of your plate, whenever you eat, should be fruits, vegetables, raw products, sprouts, all of these. Selenium is good. Selenium protects against cancer. Magnesium and selenium is present in various food sources, nuts, berries, and also some lean animal sources. And also magnesium. Magnesium, if you are deficient in magnesium, it will give you sugar cravings. So pumpkin seeds, green pumpkin seeds raw, are very good sources of magnesium. And then calcium and vitamin D. So sesame seeds and sesame oil to a certain extent, these are very good for calcium and vitamin D and bone health. So seeds are very good early in the morning, and with a little bit of high fiber cereal such as muesli or oats for that matter. Yeah. And then coming to millets. Millets, again, we've been talking about it. Millets are a very hardy crop, and they have been mentioned even in the Vedas as being sattva or pranic. And now the government of India has taken up the G20 agenda this year, is talking a lot about the benefits of millets. These are low glycemic index, which means that the rate at which they give out glucose when consumed is much lesser than rice or wheat or white bread. And that makes them avoid a spike in insulin. Now, insulin resistance is another big issue that every menopausal woman faces because of visceral fat that presses against the organs, and there is insulin resistance, and you need very little sugar and food that will give out glucose at a very slow rate. So these are very good, but a word of caution that if you have them every day, they're very good. They're very high on anti-nutrients also, such as oxalates, phytates, phenolic compounds. Phenolic compounds are very good. Curcumin also has it. Haldi, it is very good. And doodh and haldi, everybody knows, can strengthen the bone. And I have heard the most famous surgeons also recommend doodh with haldi after a bone operation. So, and it is evidenced that it is really amazing. And now in Europe, you get, turmeric latte. So it is, so some of our members were saying, this is haldi ka doodh, I'll have it if I have an injury. Why would I have it, in a restaurant? Yeah, but it is getting popular world over. So phenolic compounds are very good for fighting various disorders and various damages and injuries in the body. But an overdose of oxalates and phytates can cause kidney stones, or they can precipitate kidney stones. So one has to know which millet will suit you, and only then, and how many times can you have it, and also certain processes such as soaking and throwing away the water, or germinating, or having sattu of all these, that can improve the anti-nutrient status of these millets, and then there is a much lesser risk of your urine getting concentrated with oxalates and phytates. With this, we recommend alcohol, smoking, and coffee in moderation. And even the best cardiosurgeons say that red wine may be useful, and it can relax you, and maybe 1 or 2 glasses of red wine, they may be even useful, but we cannot recommend it on a regular basis. What I mean here is that let's not have a diet that is too rich in caffeine or nicotine or alcohol, but as a social enjoyment, you do not have to be in jail. So enjoy it, but don't let it affect your menopausal symptoms. Okay. Now coming to intermittent fasting, is it effective and is it safe? In fact, I'd say, is it safe for perimenopausal women? Should be the first question, and then is it effective? Yes, it is safe, but if you already have some disorder such as diabetes, then you need to check with your physician or your specialist on whether you can do this. And even if you start slowly shrinking your feeding window. Now, what intermittent fasting is that fasting is good. And even fasting is even mentioned in our Vedas, and we have these Ekadashi fast and once a week fast and all that. And even now all the researchers, they say that lower cancer risk, lower risk of diabetes because of autophagy. So whatever few extra cells have been produced, they are also, there is an autophagy. So the body consumes them, it cleanses them during the time that you are fasting, also the newer cells. And so there is a much lesser risk of cancer. I think I'll just take a couple of minutes more. But for women, 16.
Yeah, can I request everybody to go on mute, please, except for Professor Rishi?
Yeah. So we were talking about safety. If you already have a clinical disorder, then check with your physician. If you don't, then it is safe. What works best for women is about 14 hours fasting window and about 10 hours of feeding window. But if you have a serious problem, you could go ahead with 16 hours. But there's a very severe kind of a fasting intermittent cycle that says you eat only for 4 hours and then 20 hours you can fast on. So that and all extreme things I have not experimented with. I personally would not advocate it to anybody on their own. So do it under a proper guidance so that the person who is helping you out knows what they are doing, who they are dealing with. But I would suggest a safe 14 hours, which is known to be very beneficial with women. What you do here is that for 8 to 10 hours, you eat 2 large meals and 2 or maximum 3 snacks. Now, snacks also mean the early morning tea that you have, and maybe an afternoon or mid-morning fruit platter. So these are light. And remember your plate, anytime you're eating, the amount you're eating, half your plate should have fruits, vegetables, sprouts, raw food, and nuts. And the rest of it can have any other food that you're fond of and anything else that you need to eat, but you plan it out very well according to your physical condition your requirements, your micronutrient status. So each person is unique, and one size doesn't usually fit all. The one most forgotten nutrient, the first most forgotten nutrient, of course, is fiber. And you will get plenty of fiber if you have fruits and vegetables. And I personally tell all women, because now you're all so conscious about your weight, so you have very little food as such. I see the plate is so small and you have very little food. So the fiber content also reduces. So I encourage them to add wheat bran or kala chana atta or even isabgol to their atta itself. So, so many other ways of adding fiber to the atta. So, so once you add that, you do not have to worry. Automatically, some good quality fiber goes into your system and it produces very good results, because gut is where the immunity is required the most. It is spoilt by dysbiosis, the pathogens and the harmful bacteria coming in, and fiber protects the gut. And there is also a syndrome known as the carcinoid syndrome, which is a neuroendo kind of a cancerous kind of a syndrome. It starts in the gut and it slowly spreads into all organs, and it is being seen a lot these days. And fiber is protective against that also. And also, even if there are a few cells that keep on multiplying, if you fast, then they are destroyed. If you do not have sugar, they do not fulminate. If you have plenty of water, then the rest of the cells remain clean and healthy. So the damage caused by that multiplication is low. You can, these days, scientists, food scientists believe that you can stop cancer, carcinoid syndrome from growing with pure good food habits. So those are encouraged. And lemon, and keep your body pH alkaline in nature. Meat gives you a high acidic pH, whereas fruits, vegetables, and even lemon, and sometimes salt or a soda, but not carbonic acid, salt kind of, so that the fizz, that keeps it alkaline, and that is very helpful in preventing precipitation of several diseases, especially the tumor and the cancer kind of gamut of diseases. So you can have, so people generally like to have detox water or just plain water. Have plenty of water, aim for a minimum of 2 liters in a day. And then some little wisdom from our Vedas. Now, the Vedas are actually the inspiration for the Indian personalized nutrition. Now, so there are principles in the Vedas, and it has its roots in Atharva Veda, and from there came 3 big books, and those together are known as Ayurveda. And Charak Samhita gives the dietary principles, and from there, basically, the Vedas say that each person is unique, is a unique combination of 3 main components, which are the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And I personally have found a simile in the French system, which is now a sports nutrition assessment method also. We call it the ectomorphy, mesomorphy, and endomorphy, the phenotypes. The human phenotypes have been classified by Western population into 3, and that has a very close simile with Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha also describes you as a person, just like your zodiac signs. So Vata has certain mental traits, and this is made when you are born, so it cannot be changed. And there are certain foods that agree with your composition. So in your 100%, you may be 33% Vata, 33 and 33 Kapha. That makes 99 approximately. But some people may be high pitta, some may be high kapha, some may be high vata. And all of you need to have a little different diet. Certain foods will aggravate vata, and menopause is a vata aggravating phase. This is what Veda says. So generally, no matter what your prakriti, you need to pacify the vata. And how do you pacify the vata? With all these foods. And if you see, many of these have a simile with the Western nutrition slide that I showed right in the beginning. So peaches, certain nuts, and even sweet potato, avocados, and beets, watercress, arhar dal, berries again, dates, all these, and wild rice. Wild rice because they're high fiber, not polished rice, but wild and red rice. All of these, they are good. Now, wheat doesn't feature here. These days, scientists are saying that wheat may be a culprit because of gluten, and especially if you have an autoimmune. So gluten is the first one against which the antibodies develop, and these can affect various organs. So people who have been off gluten are giving good results, and research is still going on. It is not really conclusive. We know very little about it, and we're still researching a lot on this. Massage helps. Yoga has several benefits, and yoga helps a lot. Even a 20-30 minute yoga, including meditation, even that and a walk is good enough to keep your hormones in place. Now, Ayurveda says that if you suddenly do excessive amount of heavy duty activity like we do in the gym, like the whole day we are sedentary, and then we go for 1 hour to the gym and we really sweat it out. Now that may not be that useful, but if you keep busy throughout the day, if you you get up and get yourself a water. You do not wait for other people to wait on you and stuff. Just keep busy and do 21 minutes of yoga, and that works the most. And it says include fenugreek, soaked fenugreek in some form, and have warm water. And if you have insulin resistance, then with your food, you can sip 1 cup of warm water. That helps a lot. And overweight women can have millets more often than underweight or slim women who have other issues, because millets are good for the obese. So the take-home messages from me to you, there is so much one can talk about nutrition and its effects on hormones, but I have delineated myself to these few points. And the take-home messages is that menopause is really a normal, healthy phase. Enjoy your carefree, non-period time, and just exercise a little bit, try yoga and meditate, and eat a wholesome diet, hydrate and socialize, be with friends, and try moderation when it comes to all the pleasures, the smoking and the caffeine and the alcohol, add even sugar and salt, and try and include fenugreek and millets and fiber, fruits, vegetables, all of these, coconut powder and coconut water, sorry, that, and it can make so many good smoothies early in the morning. And here, I think I have 1 or 2 more slides on the side here. Okay, yoga, meditation, all of this. And you deserve to be happy. The key is be happy. And happiness, if you're happy, that is an indicator that a disease is still not getting the better of you. So stay happy, eat well, exercise a little bit, meditate a little bit, listen to music, just enjoy your carefree life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Priti. May I just request if people would like to go on unmute and come on camera? Maybe we can stop sharing the screen, Dr. Priti, if that's okay, because we can have a gallery view and everybody, So this is now a free session. Absolutely. Feel free to ask questions. I think it was a very, very well done session. And, thank you so much for covering such important things. We all learned a lot about hormones, which I think a lot of us are not very aware of. So guys, please feel free, use this time, ask your questions, just talk about yourself if you would like to. We have another 15 minutes to go, so we can utilize that.
I would like to ask about the bloating part.
Sorry?
After I eat, I feel that I'm bloated.
Okay.
So I don't know why this happens.
Okay, so the main reasons for bloating could be dysbiosis. Firstly, your gut bacteria may not be supporting you. First thing is that. And the second could be that there could be water retention. So maybe a combination of probiotics and raw food, more of salads, watercress, with a few seeds thrown in. And with seeds, the melon and the pumpkin and flaxseed, walnuts and various seeds, chia seeds, so many of them, that making a salad without any salt or sugar. A little bit of apple cider vinegar also can help you. So all these things generally help with bloating. But if you have other gut issues, then get your tests done. This is one more thing I'd like to say, that estrogen is a very, very protective hormone. So you may have had certain issues even before menopause. But once the protection of the menopause, the estrogen is gone, you start to notice them more and you start to feel them more, because your general, the hormones of well-being, the neurotransmitters of well-being are much lower. So, there is an association of discomfort with the same symptom that you may have had with estrogen. So first, get yourself checked up also. Check if you have any allergies. A lot of people are getting allergies after these vaccinations and coronas and things like that. Check if you have allergies. Even those, even if you have half a roti, sometimes it can give you a bloating if you have gluten allergy. So try eliminating a few things and noticing if it goes away. And visit your gastroenterologist, get your clearances from there, have a probiotic.
When you say probiotic, it is more of a curd or is something interjamina?
Curd, Greek curd or Greek yogurt or Yakult, so bifidus and lactobacillus acidophilus. These are the good bacteria that do not produce various gaseous substances. So the bloating happens because of gases or because of fluid retention. These two are the main reasons. And a low sodium diet and a good microbiota, a healthy microbiota will help you.
When you say healthy microbiota, what do we mean by that?
Yeah, the gut-friendly microbes. There are 2 or 3 that are naturally gut-friendly. So, we get them in Yakult, the bifidobacterium, or the lactobacillus acidophilus and bifidobacterium, and also Saccharomyces, certain species, right? But do not have sachets on your own. Visit your gastroenterologist, get your clearances, right? And if he or she prescribes certain probiotics, then you have those. Yeah. Otherwise, have healthy curd, Greek yogurt and Yakult, and a lot of fiber. Try and eliminate gluten and see if it works for you. A lot of my clients, they feel better without gluten.
Okay.
Yeah. Clinically, sometimes we do not have an issue, but just check if lactose is you are resistant or you have an allergy. So these are very mild things and nobody notices them over years, but they are becoming very common in the North Indian community in India.
Okay. Okay. Quite an enlightening thing. A simple thing about a bloating, and you gave me so much of data, and I'm like very, very enlightened. Thank you so much.
So,
And try
may I
millet
say
soup.
something?
Yeah.
So, Dr. Preeti, you mentioned including a lot of fiber. Raw is what you mentioned specifically. But what I have felt is that if I consume a lot of raw vegetables, that causes me a lot of bloating. So
Okay.
I tend to then steam it and have it. That helps in digestion. So, I mean, is that okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for actually telling me this. And this is where you just hit the nail on the head. For a particular type, for a Vata person, it may not help to have raw food, right? If you have an aggravation of a certain type of Prakriti, then raw may not help you. Then only cooked and steamed food will help you. So, which is what I said. The first thing is that you have to know yourself more deeply. So one size doesn't fit all, but fiber still will help you. Even if it is steamed, even if you put it in roti, for you, probably millets will be useful. Millets, but then, kodo millet would be the most useful, but soak it and wash it, soak it overnight so that the anti-nutrients leach out. And then you throw that water and wash the millet very well. And then you then make a paste out of it and keep it out in the weather here for about 4 to 6 hours, or even overnight, you can try it out. Right, like if you make a paste of it overnight and keep it, or these days I keep it in the morning, and by in about 3 or 4 hours, by noon, it's ready to be used. It ferments a little bit. Then that's the best form of kodo millet to use. And that make a little pancake out of it. In Hindi, we call it chila. So instead of rotis, if you can use that, that'll help you a lot. Try that. It'll help you particularly.
Thank you so much.
Somebody else might be benefited by ragi, but in your case, kodo would be nice. And don't have steamed raw food if that causes bloating. Do not have it, because your microbes are not supporting raw, and your prakriti doesn't support raw. There is a definite mention that there are people who cannot support raw. So steamed is good. Even sprouts are steamed for such people. Yeah. So you need to look after your gut health. Get a clearance again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. So my question is that it's when in the last few months, I have gained a lot of weight, and without really any major difference in my diet, my blood health seems to be fine. There's no issue there. So for menopausal women, is there something specific that one needs to do to lose weight?
Yeah, I know. The battle of the bulge. See, because of the hormonal changes, your metabolism slows down, and you also get insulin resistance. So you may be the candidate for, if you do not have any other issues with, other health issues with any other system, then intermittent fasting would work well with you. Now, our research on intermittent fasting shows that if you stop eating, now this was done by Jain people way back, in that century. They still follow it also. Many of Jainis, they stop eating after 7:30. But we thought it was maybe, because of food safety, because the light and and the insects and whatever. But now we know that leptin is a hormone. If you stop eating 3 hours before bedtime, then a certain hormone that supports insulin production, and not one but many. So leptin and adiponectin, these are one or two hormones that are also auxiliary to insulin. And these support metabolism, particularly the metabolism of visceral fat, which is around the abdomen, right? So if you stop eating 3 hours before sleep time, then you have a better sleep quality as well as better metabolism during the time that you sleep. And all you need to do is, in case you're hungry after that, you can hydrate yourself, you can have green tea. Green tea also make it low caffeine. You can have chamomile or infusions or any other flavor that appeals to you. Just don't take caffeine or decaffeinated coffee in case you really want a flavor of coffee and tea, whatever. Decaf is better. So then you will be able to fight
recording in progress.
Okay. Right. So so that itself will take care of some amount of abdominal fat metabolism. But if you can then slowly increase the food intake time, so that initially if you stop eating at 7, then maybe 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, okay, and 10. Maybe by about 10, if you have a high protein. So I usually ask my clients to have an egg white omelette with plenty of vegetables and a drink. So high protein to start with, or even milk. A lot of people like milk. A lot of people respond
In the morning?
very well to milk. Yeah, even in the morning. Some people
You're
respond well.
talking about stop eating at 7 in the evening, and then you're
And in
saying
the morning, you have a high protein. You start with high protein.
start with high
About
protein.
10. So she's talking about moving the time window from
Slowly.
8, 9, 10. Slowly.
Yeah, from 7 to
Start
8
with a
to
high
9,
protein.
and ideally to 10, in case you really need more than 2 or 3 kgs of weight loss. If it is only 2 or 3, just stop eating after 7 and you'll reach your target. Just try it. It works wonders.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Just that much.
So doctor, what you're suggesting is that this
I can't see-
intermittent fasting becomes a way of life. It's a lifestyle change rather than just some fad diet that we follow for a few days. or
No,
weeks.
no, it is not a permanent thing.
Oh,
It's
it's
not
not.
a permanent thing. Yeah, you after you achieve your target, then you eat a very healthy pattern that maintains it over a period of time. But yes, eating 3 hours before bedtime is a lifestyle thing. You can do it forever.
Right.
But not eating, not having a fasting window of 16 hours needs to be permanent. That depends upon your target weight loss, and then slowly come back to your normal routine. You can have a light morning tea. Don't make it very heavy, but you can start your metabolism, your intake metabolism. You do not have to fast that long forever. No.
Sure. Thank you.
And do not go for extremism and fadism. Like intermittent diet works, and we have evidence from hospital research. I have researched with my colleagues in various hospitals. Veganism helps up to a certain point, but it has its issues also. So do not fall prey to this extreme, vegan and keto and extreme warrior intermittent. And no. Know your own body, know your own target. Okay, one more thing I should warn you, that if a menopausal woman suddenly loses weight, they lose a lot of bone mineral also. So just keep it slow. Do not try, even if you exercise and lose weight. So after menopause, you are susceptible to a bone mineral density loss with sudden weight loss. So please do not lose so much of weight all of a sudden. Just make lifestyle changes. What do we want? You want to feel good. So focus on a good lifestyle, focus on good practices, and focus on feeling good. Focus on your own symptom. For some, it may be a brain fog. For me, it's a brain fog, especially, under stress. I'd remember you. I remember exactly where we met, what we spoke, what you wear, but I would remember your surname, but I wouldn't just remember your first name sometimes under high stress. That is my reaction to menopause. I cannot call it memory loss. It is some kind of a mild inflammation, and it is definitely an indicator that I should have more omega-3. So discuss your own specific symptoms and your own specific biomarkers that come up in your tests. And with that, you can have a personalized diet based on global evidence and Indian Vedic wisdom together. It really works very well. Don't just follow whatever. No, some people have, some people may be hyper, some may have a brain fog. Brain fog, usually it is micronutrient and it is inflammatory. Or some may have a belly fat, that's insulin resistance mostly. And some may have aches and pains, and that may be osteopenia, or it could be even liver for that matter, because muscle is made with liver, or it could be joints. So each one is different. Each one is different. And one responds to raw, one responds to steamed. See, we have it all here in this forum itself. So know your body, and know what suits you, what your specific issue is, and how to resolve that specific thing. Usually low sugar. So the thing that goes well with everyone is higher amount of fiber, lower amount of sugar. Just take it off, knock it off. Sugar and salt. So we call it twin white poisons. We've published a paper on it also. I call it twin white herrings poisons. So no white poisons. Sugar and salt, just cut it out. Have more fiber, fruits, vegetables. So that's for everybody. Half your plate.
So one question, can nutrition help with skin issue?
Skin issue? Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Actually,
melasma and all.
60 to 70% of your body is made of what you send in. So basically, if you're looking at whether it can compete with a laser treatment, maybe not. But yeah, it can, a good nourishing diet with a lot of vitamin C, which is needed to make collagen. Whatever your body is capable of producing, good nutrition will maximize it. So if your point of reference is your best potential of keeping your skin healthy, yes, it will help. But if you have a comparison with a certain surgical procedure or some other procedure, then that's a different issue. Yes, nutrition, people who eat healthy and exercise a little bit, they're glowing all the time.
Yes, doctor, just a small question. I'm 44 and around my periods, I face a lot of digestion issues. So normally I have constipation, but around my period, it seems like I should not eat anything or nothing suits me, cooked raw fruits. And I mean, especially during summers. So it's like you will have, I mean, I'll have hot flashes and I will not feel like eating. So all of that happens. So in that case, what should be my, what diet should I follow? Or what food items should I restrict?
Have you been having this since menarche, or is it a recent thing?
No, it's very recent.
It's recent. So maybe these are the perimenopausal symptoms coming on. Or the first thing you should do is get yourself examined for your gut. Right?
Is there a test for it?
Yeah, you meet the gastroenterologist and you get a routine examination done. The stool. Sometimes, there are microbes that act up. But since you're saying that it is during the specific period, during the period time, it could be premenstrual stress and it could be related with the hormones. So first thing is cut out sugar during that time. Hydrate yourself very well.
As such, I don't have sugar at all.
Warm water. And at night, have a little protein drink. So haldi wala doodh, I always give my clients haldi wala doodh. Whenever I have to, it works very well. It works well with even clinical conditions. So that works very well. And from Ayurveda, soaked fenugreek, and specifically for you, ajwain. So we can have hot tea with ajwain, and we can have good fat as in almonds. So in case almond seeds and all you're not able to digest, just in that ajwain wala tea, just add a drop or two of almond oil. So this is a very, very traditional Vedic drink that helps during the menstrual discomfort. Whether it is because of PMS or because of perimenopause, it does.
So normal tea with ajwain?
No, just ajwain.
Ajwain tea. Like you can soak ajwain in the night and, just boil that water, strain it and have that water like ajwain tea.
Got it.
With a drop. That's in the morning, and haldi wala doodh, and just cut out sugar. And have a lot of fiber. Have soft food during that time. Don't go in for things such as cheeses and heavy food and chole and kala chana, all that fried food. Just avoid. Just eat light during that time.
Thank you, doctor.
Great. So anybody has anything, because we're just close to now closing our session?
I have one question. This is Suzanne. I'm sorry I can't have my video on. My cat is all over me.
No.
Dr. Priti, thank you very much for the informative session and for sharing your wisdom. And thanks, Malvika. Dr. Priti, I'm 42 years old. I suffer from IBS and I'm forever bloated. Like I've never had a single baby and I have 6 cats and a dog. So I joke around telling people that I had 7 kids because that's what my stomach really looks like. So any suggestions for someone who's suffering from, I know what my triggers are. A lot of them are emotional triggers and I know I have to work around them, and I do. But anything that you think you could recommend from a nutritionist perspective, that'll really be helpful.
Okay, IBS has a whole different clinical management. Dietary management for IBS is entirely different. You need to have a low residue, so does fiber irritate you? Raw food would be irritating you, right?
Not all raw food and not all fiber, but I have my issues with lactose and gluten both.
Yeah, right. And also meats. Do they make you?
In any case, I only eat lean meat, which is chicken and fish. So I eat it only maybe once a week. So I don't really have much of a problem. Yeah, but I do have soy milk every morning. Would you say that I should stop that? Because that's 1 cup of coffee with soy milk. That's all I have. But I've been hearing
soy milk is good for you. Soy milk is good for you. Almond milk is good for you. Rice milk is good for you. So all kind of these alternate milks you can have. And fluids will go better. with you. And so far as emotional triggers and all are concerned, have a lot of vitamin C, natural sources of vitamin C.
Okay.
So if fiber irritates you, then purees, with the fiber discarded, smoothies, those could be good. Don't mix. So anyways, you don't have lactose, right?
No.
Yeah. So you can then mix a little bit of fruit and milk, alternate milk. That so a good recipe that another friend of mine who has IBS has is that she blenderizes one apple with a few dates and with a few soaked almonds with plenty of water. So that, and then she sieves it, with 2-3, and that so it comes out like an apple, date, and almond milk. So that's really amazing with muesli or any other, not even muesli, any other cereal that you have, or even just like that. So those kind of fluids, keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself high on vitamin C, and also keep your body pH alkaline. And deworm yourself. Have you dewormed? How often do you deworm yourself? Sometimes
Yeah.
the irritability happens because of and that there's an influence of worms also. Try ivermectin and also albendazole. So deworm yourself first, so that if there is any issue with worms in your gut, then that is taken care of first. And then that will leave only the mild irritable bowel. And of course, in emotional or stressful conditions, it gets exacerbated. But for that, just try 15-20 minutes of meditation in the morning. Just chanting, just watching your breath. Lom vilom, from inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Just watch your breath. Just watch your breath and chant. Any chanting these days, people do a lot of Buddhism or any other chanting, any prayer that you like. Just sing the prayer 10-15 minutes in the morning. That helps control the triggers at an emotional level. That. And also watch your emotion. So it's a whole different process. How you're feeling. So what triggered it? You're already so aware. So, one thing that helps with IBS is the moment you're starting to feel a trigger, stop right there and ask yourself, okay, who triggered it or what triggered it? So who, maybe A, B, the mid-income or whatever, that is an actor in your life. And that actor is creating a certain emotion, and that is triggering your IBS. So the moment you understand that this actor caused it, what did she cause? Frustration, irritation, anger, a bit of a panic that now I have to cook in the morning and then I'll get late. Anyways, that's going to happen, right? But it shouldn't trigger your IBS. Our issue is that we'll go late, we will deal with it. But what we want to deal with is not triggering our IBS. And so the moment you define it is an irritation or it is a panic, it is, a feeling of lack of control. So define it and then accept it. Yes, I am feeling that. So acceptance is very important. The moment you do not want to feel it and you say that, okay, oh, no, I'm not feeling it and I'm okay and I can do this and I can do that. And that keeps on harming you. So define it, accept it, and then release it. Okay, yes, I am out of control. I'm going to get late in office today. My maid hasn't come and I'll have to cook. And that's a lot of hard work. Believe me, I find it a lot of it happens. And just let it go. I let it go. I
Now, the
release.
emotional triggers have not really been bothering me because I'm a cognitive behavioral sciences specialist myself and a therapist. So
Okay,
that
great.
really is under
So
control.
I am telling you how to just process your negative emotion.
No, no, that's absolutely fine. I only wanted to know, but you know, the last time I had it, which was after 2 years, I had no flares whatsoever. But it happened this year in Jan when my dog had an epilepsy attack and she had 14 grand mal seizures every 5.5 hours. And that was something I just couldn't fathom. So she was sick and I was sick and we were a mess.
Okay.
So I know,
So
you know,
why,
these are
what was the reason of a grand mal seizure? And you know, some of these B complex deficiencies, B deficiencies in people who have a very low, who do not have, no, so now milk and egg and red meat, all these are B12 rich foods. So,
my
but your
dog.
dog has,
Yeah,
it, right? And
yeah.
also certain cysticercosis. So check for worms. Firstly, get yourself dewormed. Is your dog dewormed?
Yes,
For that
yes.
matter.
Yes, she
Dewormed. She is. Yeah, okay. So that, but so at a very conscious level, you did not feel the emotion, but it kind of, hit you deep, and it flared up your IBS at a
Yes.
mental level, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, yeah. So still keep releasing. Whatever, just ask yourself what you feel. So you know why we do it and how. So just process it a little deeper. Process it a little deeper, and it usually helps. Auto suggestion helps, like it's a biofeedback helps. I was a sports nutritionist, so a lot of people, would have certain reactions with food or something, and they knew it was good, but they couldn't have. So we dealt with it as a team between a psychology and nutrition team. And auto suggestion helps, and processing emotion helps, deworming helps, and strengthening the gut helps. So if I look into your specific case, then I would be able to know what foods will help. But then your alternate milks made of nuts and fruits, these would help. B12 would help, vitamin C would help, alkaline pH would help. All of these would help. And soft fiber, if it doesn't flare up. Residues, food with high residue, such as milk and meat extracts, they would not help. But fiber, soft fiber, soluble fiber, like isabgol, or even some pulses, those would help. And soybean, definitely you can have. You should have, unless there's a breast cancer.
Yeah.
There's a the calcium micro, those micro kind of there are 2-3 types of breast cancers, and one is that calcium micro thing, which is because of high estrogen level. So if that exists in your family, your sisters, mothers, whoever, massive, then you have to be careful, otherwise you can have soybean.
Thank you so much, Dr. Priti. What I'll do is I'll share the recording on the group, but I'll also share your details in case somebody wants to contact you directly one-on-one. Thank you so much for the session. Thank you everybody who's attended the session. I will have to wrap it now because the link to Zoom belongs to somebody who has another session coming up. So yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you so much for attending, and lovely session. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Malvika. This was
Thank
actually
you.
great. Thank you, Dr. Preeti. Yes. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and all the best.
Much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Malvika.